Stacy's Homestead, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own mayonnaise. Now this mayonnaise is a bit different because it's fermented. So if I were to not ferment this, it would only stay good in the refrigerator for maybe about 5 days or so. But because we are going to ferment it, it will last in your refrigerator for over 2 weeks, give or take a few days. And the way you tell when mayonnaise is going bad is when it starts getting discolored on the top. But you know what? Mine lasts for a couple weeks, and I mean that's all I need it for, and then I just make a new batch. Okay, so we're gonna get started here. I use extra virgin olive oil, and I use avocado oil. You're going to need some type of fermentation that you did. It could be your own sauerkraut, it could be your own pickles, it could be any product that you have fermented. It could be whey. I don't know if people use whey. I've never used whey, so I mean you can try it, but it could be when you make buttermilk, well, it's like the whey runoff of buttermilk. The hooch part of it. You can use that. It has to be something that has a natural fermentation production. So it can't be regular vinegar. Regular vinegar is just a preservative. Alright, so you will be grabbing a few of your favorite fermentation products and using the liquid out of it. So I like to do a combination just for flavors, and you don't have to do that. You could just use one. So I ferment my own jalapenos. So this is the juice from the jalapenos I'm going to be using. It gives it a great flavor as well. And then I ferment my own garlic for beneficial purposes, and it just tastes really well. And this juice is really good too, so I'm going to use a dabble of this. And then of course I make my own apple cider vinegar. I keep in these jars because I make a lot at a time. And you could use, if you're using a ferment, I like the apple cider vinegar taste. So if you don't have your own fermented apple cider vinegar, you can use store-bought, but you have to have, even with the mother store-bought, is not going to give you a natural fermentation because it's shelf stable. So even though it has the mother in it, it still has gone through some type of process where it won't be able to be reproduced. So it's not going to ferment in your mayonnaise. So if you do use apple cider vinegar store-bought, you still have to add a different fermentation. Now, I also add lemon juice because that's just good for flavoring, and that's what you would use in regular mayonnaise. Salt. Oh, and I like to add I keep my kombucha vinegar in these old, I reuse bottles, you know. So I have to fill it up, but this is kombucha vinegar. I'll add in there as well. And then you need salt. And of course you need fresh eggs. The fresher the better, because it'll just make your mayonnaise last a lot longer. Let me get back over here where you can see. So we're going to do that, and then you're going to need an immersion blender and a mason jar. Now I save different colors for different things. So I have all my blue mason jars, I save for only mayonnaise or buttermilk. And I only use these for that. And then I have purple pint jars that I use for canning milk, only canning milk. So that's just what I like to do. So let's see, we got our immersion blender here. And I got my coffee I'm drinking because it's morning time for me. We will start off by cracking your eggs in here. Now, I think I'll do a zoom shot for y'all so you can get up and close. Alright, so because these are farm eggs, we're going to crack them in the bowl and make sure they're good. That's one good one. Put that in. 2, good one. Put that one in. And then I have one more good one. Let's go find one more. Okay. 31, that's a good one. Alright, so we got 3 fresh eggs in there, and we cracked them in the bowls. So that is done. Now that we have 3 eggs, we're gonna just beat it just a little bit with our immersion blender. Just do a little, just a little like that, okay? And then we're gonna add our salt. So, I'm gonna put like a palm full. This is how I measure. I think that's like a tablespoon of salt, okay? Put about a tablespoon of salt. All right, got that tablespoon of salt in there. And then we're going to add our vinegars. So I'm gonna put a little bit of kombucha vinegar. And a little bit of homemade apple cider vinegar. It smells so good. I use tequila bottles to hold them. I just take the labels off. Just a little bit. And these will start your ferment. So, and then I love the taste of this fermented garlic. And it smells good. It gives it a good flavor. Put a dollop of that, and I'm going to do this. So overall, probably about a couple tablespoons of fermented vinegar. Anything with a ferment. And then we're going to mix it up a little bit. And that's what's going to start your ferment. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit of lemon, because lemon, you need that lemon. And then we're gonna go just a little, just a couple squirts, maybe a teaspoon of lemon. Just a teaspoon. I've been making homemade mayonnaise for a very, very, very long time. I don't buy store-bought mayonnaise. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the extra virgin olive oil. Okay, and we're gonna start blending it and adding it just a little slow, but not, it doesn't have to be too slow. And I go about halfway. When it reaches about halfway, then I stop. Okay, so I'm going to just leave that there because we might add more. And then we're going to do the avocado oil. But it has more of a neutral taste. So every olive oil has its own unique taste. This one has like a spicy kind of taste to it. So it's really good. It gives it a nice unique flavor. So I like this brand. And I only use this brand for my mayonnaise. I'm not sure if it's actually 100% like true, because they say there's a lot of like mixing with the olive oils that come along here for sale. So when I'm using olive oil for medicinal purposes, I make sure it's labeled with this. So it's a California one, and it's tested. So this is what I use for medicinal purposes. It has this, and they're made in California, so it'll say California or California Ranch, or but they all, if it has this, that means it's for sure 100%. I just want to be positive. And then there's the one from Costco. It's not this one. This is my cooking one. It's their extra virgin olive oil, but the more expensive one. They have two of them. They have one that's cheaper and one more expensive. The more expensive one is for sure pure. Not mixed. What I'm meaning is not mixed up with a bunch of different oils from different places. So this is a mixture of different oils from different places. I use this for mayonnaise. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna slowly add this. So now we're looking, because we're getting towards the top, we're looking for it to get the consistency of like pudding. You just move it up and down slowly. So you can maybe make it a little thicker, but taste it, because if you go thicker than this, it gives a little oily taste. So let's taste it. I'll use my pinky since my hands are super clean. You can't double dip in this one. It has a good taste. Now, this is where you start adding. The only two things you're going to add extra now is more salt if it needs it, and more lemon if it needs it. And I think it needs a little more lemon. Okay, and we're going to do it again. I'm going to add a little bit more. I think it needs to be a little bit thicker. Because what happens is that because you're fermenting this, it's going to get a little more liquidy a little bit. So it'd still be spreadable, but you want it a little more firmer. Taste it with my other finger that's worst. That's pretty good. All right, I think that's good. That's perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to wash our hands really fast, because I want to put my finger and get everything out of it. Wash my hands again, so I just stuck it in my mouth. All right, so now we're going to put our hand this way, and we're just going to scoop off, because I don't like wasting. And that's how you make the mayonnaise. Now, how we ferment it, it really doesn't have to be left on the counter for long. So it's going to be left on the counter because it's summertime, and it's warm in the house. We're just going to leave it on the counter until right before I go to bed, so let's say about 8 hours on the counter. Okay? Leave it on the counter for about 8 hours and then put it in the fridge and it's good. It's fermented, started. It'll continue to ferment slowly in the refrigerator, but you just gotta initially start it. And it doesn't change the flavor, so the flavor you have is the flavor you get. It doesn't get more sour or anything. If anything, it just might taste a little bit better. But all right, so I don't like tapping the side of the jars because that's when they chip. So try not to do that. All right. Okay, so we're gonna let that set with the lid on. I use these. We're gonna set it here. And for 8 hours just on the counter. In the winter time, I do it overnight and then put it up in the next day. Alrighty, y'all, so that's how you make homemade mayonnaise, and it'll stay in your refrigerator for up to a couple of weeks. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.